Good night and welcome to Benalmádena's first English news broadcast. Digital Costa del Sol brings you every Friday all the information about this week's news. The global pandemic situation we are facing has given the definitive push to teleworking, which is becoming a more and more real and attractive option for many professionals, and in Benalmádena, City Council wants to promote the segment with the creation of a co-working space.
Benalmádena's Mayor Víctor Navas and Youth Councilwoman María Isabel Ruiz held a press conference last week to highlight the potential of Benalmádena as a teleworking destination, as well as various municipal initiatives to promote employment in the municipality.
La importancia que tiene para nosotros la generación de...
We consider essential to create jobs and generate employment alternatives in a city that is very dependent on tourism, and therefore, since our arrival to the municipal government in 2015, we have been working to promote new businesses activities compatible with tourism. Thinking about diversifying the labor supply that Benalmádena can offer, we have been working on attracting companies that are committed to innovation and teleworking. Navas announced this new co-working space in the Innova building, noting that they are considered creating more in other municipal facilities.
Espacios de coworking.
Benalmádena is a city with unbeatable conditions, an excellent climate, public services and infrastructure of a big city with a quality of life that few destinations can offer, and an efficient connection with the rest of the world due to its proximity to Malaga's AVE station and airport. We are starting to adapt other municipal facilities currently in disuse for the creation of new co-working spaces for those entrepreneurs who decide to come to Benalmádena to settle, which will allow us to diversify our labor supply beyond tourism. The mayor of Benalmádena highlighted the attractiveness of the municipality for foreign companies that want to install their work centers, such as Plaza Solimar. Benalmádena has been one of the first cities on the Costa del Sol to start working to facilitate the arrival of companies that are committed to innovation and teleworking, as evidenced by the fact that we have already managed to turn the former Solimar shopping center into a business center generating around 2,400 direct jobs. In addition, this trend is now joined by the Swedish multinational Transcom, which just announced that in June it will open a contact center in Benalmádena, which will create 250 jobs. He also stressed the creation of indirect employment and review other municipal measures for the promotion of employment and the improvement of professional profiles. These projects require specialized profiles, people trained in areas such as languages, administration, or legal field, so betting on their arrival in Benalmádena allows us not to be so dependent on tourist activity as until now. The arrival of these companies involves the creation of indirect employment in the city, also increasing the population, bringing us closer to the goal of 75,000 registered inhabitants that would allow to change the category of our city. Ruiz explained that they are currently preparing the rules of coexistence of this space that will have 15 jobs. To facilitate their jobs to entrepreneurs and professionals who telework, we want to offer them a space to develop their work away from home or start their business project. We are developing the rules of coexistence of this new space, setting the procedures and deadlines for its use, either through the electronic headquarters or directly addressing the area of innovation and entrepreneurship. It will start operating in May, and we will have 15 full workstations and 2 offices that will be enabled for holding meetings and 2 other common spaces. Finally, Ruiz has valued the work being done in the Innova building with a special mention for the Andalucía Emprende program, and announced that soon we'll be able to apply for places being scheduled to open for the month of May. We are going to enable a co-working space in what has been until now the business incubator of the Innova building, which will not cease to be, but it will coexist with this new space. We wanted to locate this space in the Innova because the building is the emblem of entrepreneurship in Benalmádena and also has a headquarters of Andalucía Emprende with 4 exceptional workers who offer valuable support to companies that are starting their journey.
The coronavirus incident rates has been rising the last weeks throughout the Spanish territory, and it seems to be confirmed that we are already in a 4th wave, so the administrations are making appeals to responsibility.
Security Councilman Javier Marín spoke with us last week at City Hall to launch a message to the population asking for individual responsibility to stop the 4th wave, which seems already confirmed after the statements made by the director of the Center for Coordination of Alerts and Health Emergencies, Fernando Simón, who confirmed last Monday that we are in the 4th wave of the pandemic. Marín, who also heads the area of commerce, says that if we want to help our neighbors and the local business sector, very focused on one of the sectors most affected by the pandemic, such as tourism, we must be strict in complying with the measures. I want to ask our citizens to continue applying strictly all the measures to stop the spread of coronavirus. It is important to stay focused and compliant with all the measures. I also want to emphasize that our entrepreneurs and traders who perform the bulk of their activity from mid-afternoon have seen somewhat better results, but the vast majority have been harmed by the lack of visitors to our town. I encourage them to continue fighting and developing their activity every day. The councilman asked Junta de Andalucía for different criteria when applying closures and value the effort made by health professionals, security forces and other workers who have been in the front line of battle throughout the pandemic. The health safety measures should be carried out taking into account the reality of each municipality. It doesn't make sense to close the entire Costa del Sol because at Marbellas Hospital, which is not even the reference for Benalmádena, there is a higher incidence than normal. We ask the board work side by side with the local administration. We will always respect the institutional loyalty and we are at their disposal, but we would like to stop opting for the most uniform way when determining perimeter closures and schedule changes that do not fit the actual figures of incidence of each locality. I want to thank all the security forces, health workers, and all the other professionals who are involved in this fight. The accumulated incidence began to grow in our country on March 15, when it was at 127 cases per 100,000 inhabitants and has only experienced a slight break on April 3rd. On Monday 12, it was at the same level as at the end of February. In addition, the 7-day incidence also rises from 19.7 cases per 100,000 inhabitants to 112.2.
Youth Councilwoman Marisabel Ruiz spoke with us last week to announce new activities that the area is organizing at the Innova building, highlighting the work being done in terms of health security measures.
The youth area continues to organize workshops and activities of all kinds aimed at young people in the municipality, and it is vital to create leisure alternatives for this sector of the population, even more so with the pandemic situation we live in which it is easy to suffer situations of loneliness or isolation. Youth Councilwoman María Isabel Ruiz spoke with us last week to announce new activities that are being added to the calendar of this space. I want to highlight the work being done from the delegation and the effort made by our amazing technical team, which is taking care of everything related to the pandemic, striving to ensure that the environment at our delegation, both at the Innova building and at the Espacio Joven, is a safe environment where people come to practice their activities, feel comfortable and calm. This is a COVID-free space. We are very proud to say that since we opened the facility in July last year, we haven't had a single contagion, and these are things that must be put in value. When things are done badly, we must recognize it, and when they are done well, we must put it in value, because there are many people working behind to make it happen. Historical fencing, illustration, and drawing or painting outdoors join the long list of activities that the space offers, with Zumba, yoga, photography, capoeira, or mindfulness, among many other options. Ruiz highlights the great work being done by youth correspondents, who are playing a very important role in providing moral support to young people in the municipality during the pandemic, and announce new activities for the group. We are also working with the Youth Correspondents Group. We have been reporting on their activity for several months because it is a group that is getting involved in our municipality's life, especially concerned with the fatigue that young people are suffering with the pandemic, helping them manage it. And now we are going to collaborate with the group to launch a package of activities that will be aimed at young people, with outdoor activities, sports, hiking, that will be limited due to the restrictions imposed by the pandemic. I will keep you informed of everything. For those who want more information, all activities are posted on the social networks of the House of Youth, or you can approach the delegation, where you will be given all the information.
Benalmádena's Marina announced the upcoming tender for the licensing of tourist activities for commercial pleasure crafts operating from the inner sheet, popularly known as charters.
Benalmádena's Sport Harbor councilwoman Encarnación Cortés and its manager Manuel Jiménez held a press conference on Tuesday to announce the upcoming tender of the authorizations for tourist activities of commercial crafts operating from the inner sheet of the port. From the Sport Harbor, we have taken into account the very serious health, social, and economic situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which is why this call will be characterized by a significant reduction of the economic requirement for companies interested in participating in it. We are studying, in collaboration with the APA, the possibility of extending the hours of activity in summer of these commercial vessels. Cortés ended her speech stressing that the institution tries to listen to everyone, attending the users and their demands as much as possible. Attending to the claims of port users, to which we have always been sensitive, we will try to enable them to increase their working capacity in the season that begins. For his part, Jiménez emphasized that they try to offer the maximum legal guarantee in the contest, as well as showing sensitivity to the situation faced by customers and users. I want to remember that our marina was the first of the Andalusian coast that, after declaring the pandemic situation, substantially reduced the amount of mooring contracts to port users, including especially those who are professionally engaged in this type of tourist nautical activity. We know the need to continue with the regulation of the service with all the legal guarantees for both companies and users. The expiration date of the current authorizations is near, and it is necessary to implement the renewal mechanism of the same, as noted, will be valid for 1 year.
Tourism is the main Andalusian industry, and Junta de Andalucía is trying to save the sector with a new package of direct aids, with grants of €200 per hotel bed, with a maximum of 1,000 beds per property.
Junta de Andalucía approved on Tuesday the first package of direct coronavirus crisis aid to the hotel sector in the region. The measure had been demanded by business in the sector, who until now have not received any direct support for their companies. This aid is being opened up to the accommodation sector, which until now had not received direct liquidity support due to a legal issue. As the sector asked us, we are going to offer direct grants for €200 per hotel bed, so that an establishment with 1,000 beds will receive €200,000, which is the maximum per property, said Junta's Vice President Juan Marín. In total, the regional government is going to allocate €60 million to this aid package. The measure has been well received by the sector, although the figures are far short for the losses they have suffered after a year without trade and facing average costs that are estimated to be 50,000 euros per month at a 4-star hotel with 100 rooms. The president of the Costa del Sol Hoteliers Association, José Luque, demanded that the aid reach the companies as soon as possible. We are very happy about this help, but we want the administration to make the aid available as soon as possible, he said. At the end of the last year, the Andalusian Hotel Federation presented the Junta with a report by KPMG that outlined a 250 million euro plan could be needed to save the sector in the face of the worst crisis in the history. The coronavirus data in Andalucía appears to be encouraging, and as a result, the Health Minister Jesús Aguirre said on Monday that the Junta is considering postponing this week's meeting of the so-called Committee of Experts to next week. Speaking to journalists in Córdoba, Aguirre explained the technical teams are evaluating postponing it till the following week, being aware of the favorable evolution. The Committee of Experts meets when important decisions have to be made, but it may be postponed a bit if the signs are favorable. Juanma Moreno, president of the Junta de Andalucía, also said the growth that is currently being experienced is contained and not explosive as it was at Christmas. Moreno has pointed out that the trend for this week is upward, but for the next week, a stabilization of the number of cases is expected that will cause the curve to enter a plateau, although there will be days in which the figures will fluctuate up and down. At a national level, the director of the Center for the Coordination of Emergencies and Health Alerts, Fernando Simón, also said that although the cumulative incidence rate continues to climb, the outlook for the country as a whole in the medium and long term is better. And this is due, he said, that the effects of the Easter holiday have not been as negative as he had feared at first.
And these are today's headlines. Benalmádena is committed to teleworking. Marín launches a message of responsibility to stop the fourth wave. Safe activities at the Innova building. City Hall opens a tender for tourist boats in the port. Junta launches aids for the accommodation sector. The weather forecast for the weekend will leave us with cloudy skies with showers that may be accompanied by thunderstorms, more intense and frequent in the mountains. Temperatures unchanged, winds from the east or southeast turning to south with intervals of west on the east coast in the afternoon. And that's all. Thank you for watching us, and remember, you can stay updated on our website or social media profile on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night and enjoy the weekend.